Oh man, this can't be good. You know, this dude was involved with Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order before that. Two of the best Star Wars games to date, or at least, one of, or two of the best Star Wars games to date. I have a bad feeling about this. I feel like whatever happened here, I think he had a good grasp of the characters, a good grasp of the story and where it was going, and perhaps he wanted to take it in a certain direction. We're going to read about this. I haven't read about it yet, why he left or whatever, or what really happened. I'm only speculating, but I feel like, with a guy who had really had such a great track record with the first one and with the second one, you feel like this dude is going to really have an idea of what the outline is for the whole story and where the characters are going to end up, in the beginning and the end. And in the middle. Kind of seems like they're taking the sequel trilogy approach where they're having like disjointed people and writers and directors per episode when it should be all one linear story from start, middle, finish. I'm really worried about that because I feel like he did a great job with the first two, and I don't know what the hell is going to happen now that he's not going to be involved. This was one of my favorite Star Wars franchises. What can we call it? Storylines. And I just don't want it to be ruined. Anyways, let's read. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor game director Stig Asmussen is leaving his post at Respawn and Electronic Arts. The news comes days after the latest major patch for Survivor was released. In a brief statement via Bloomberg, a spokesperson from EA said, "After careful thought and consideration, Stig Asmussen has decided to leave Respawn to pursue other adventures." Dude, right there when it says after careful thought and consideration, like, he probably was told to, and this is just, dude, I'm not trying to start rumors, but this is my theory. There's no reason this guy who had this much passion for Cal Kestis, from the start and the middle, to just straight up leave. So whoever's involved, kind of pulling the strings, I think that they wanted him to do some sort of thing with the character or take it in a certain way that he didn't want to do that. He didn't want to take it in that certain direction. And I feel like that's probably why he decided to leave. And they're like, well, you know what? We'll just make it not public where you'll have to just take a leave of absence, or you'll just have to, after careful thought and consideration, you're just going to leave. Dude, veteran Respawn leaders will be stepping up to guide the team as they continue their work on Star Wars Survivor. Yeah, and I hope that these veteran Respawn leaders have an absolute idea or a clue regarding the story of Cal Kestis and Merrin and where it should go, because I feel like Stig was really great with understanding the lore behind Star Wars and kind of the overall feel. But hey, maybe it could be a great thing. Maybe the game's going to be even better this time. But I really doubt that. I think, when you have a certain person who's been involved with the beginning and the middle, you kind of need them for the end. Just for, just to catch little things that might need changing, little details here and there, or whatever it might be. They have this certain touch about it, this certain feel to it, and it's not going to be the same anymore now. So Asmussen oversaw the production of 2019 Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and its sequel Survivor, released earlier this year. Both games were major commercial and critical successes, a much needed lift for Star Wars games under EA banner after lukewarm responses to their other efforts over the last decade. Yeah, what efforts? Lack thereof. Asmussen has previously said he envisions a trilogy of Star Wars Jedi games, which still seems likely given the franchise's pedigree and various job listings on Respawn's website. Yeah, so the game's still happening. It's a cash cow for Disney. They're going to complete the game. But are they going to follow his... I guess obviously they're not going to follow his outline, because that clearly must have been the issue. I'm assuming. This news also comes after recent comments made by EA CEO Mike Wilson at the Goldman Sachs Communacopia and Technology Conference regarding Respawn and its contributions to the company. He said, "They're an incredible team and they've created incredible value for us, for our shareholders, and certainly for these global communities of players across Apex and the Jedi series. And you should imagine that there's some other things going on at Respawn that we're very excited about that we're not going to talk about." Ooh, how convenient. But that we're very excited about, just given the quality of that group. Okay, cool. Well, proof's going to be in the pudding. How many times have they said this crap and it turned out to be just whack once they switched to a new director? But hey, look, Solo was fine. I wonder what the previous version was like. But once they got Ron Howard, I feel like Ron Howard is a great director and writer, and was able to really take Solo to a place where, yeah, it was good. It was a good movie. I didn't have a problem with it. Could be good, could be bad. Personally, I think Stig was great, and I think Jedi Survivor was just so much better, even playability-wise, than Jedi Fallen Order. However, I think I enjoyed the story of Fallen Order much more. In addition to potential future Star Wars Jedi content, 2 other games are currently in development under Respawn. One's a first-person shooter game from Peter Hirschman, former executive producer of the original Star Wars Battlefront games. The other is a strategy game in collaboration with BitReactor, led by XCOM veteran Greg Forge. So yeah, look, we are going to be getting a lot of Star Wars games coming to us in the next probably like 6 years, I imagine. This game was really one that I know a lot of us freaking, you know, in live streams, man, a lot of us rode together on this game from the Jedi Fallen Order days to the Survivor days, and I had a really amazing time with you all. So I don't want the story to change so much. I don't want it to be something that it wasn't intended to be, and it just will always make me wonder, you know, like when we do get the story, what was the other version like, if there was another version? Or are they continuing what? Well, they can't be continuing what Stig wanted to do, because otherwise he wouldn't have left unless it was like a pay issue. But I just feel like this dude is probably so passionate about it that he wouldn't really care all that much. I'm not really entirely sure myself, but look, I mean, the game's gonna come out probably in 2025, I imagine. So I think they're gonna advertise the game 2025 at Japan Celebration, and then it'll probably drop 2026. Let's be real. So like 2 years from now, essentially 2.5 years, probably in like springtime 2026, which makes sense, 2.5 years from now. So I could see that happening. You know, I feel like whenever they do Celebration, they usually have a crap ton of stuff coming the next year. Not really that year all that much, but it could be. We'll see. Anyways, I really hope personally that this game is going to be an absolute amazing story and maybe take us on some other path, you know, maybe with Merrin. I know they got Merrin and Cal are together now, romantically. So maybe they're both going to take care of Bode's kid, you know? Maybe she's got force powers and Cal's going to train her. Maybe she can use magic. Merrin's going to train her. Maybe we're going to have some sort of hybrid Jedi Night Sister. Night Sister Force user. Force using Night Sister. Force using witch. A witch with the Force. I feel like that would be probably one of the most dangerous beings in the galaxy by far and large. You know, the Night Sisters really gave Palpatine a run for his money, especially Mother Talzin. And she was really giving him a rough time, a rough go, and he was kind of, I wouldn't say scared, but you know, she was definitely a reason for him to show up in the comics in the Son of Dathomir run, which I hope to God one day they'll either do live action or comic. But I think it's hard to say. I'm really passionate about this series. I wish Stig Asmussen the best going forwards with whatever he wants to do and work on, and I'm sure he'll be very successful at it. But yeah, we lost a great one, boys. I feel like, unless there's something I don't know about him, you know, but we lost a great one in my opinion. I feel like he did a great job with Survivor and Fallen Order before that. So yeah, we'll see where it goes from here. Maybe those veteran Respawn employees can step to the plate and actually make something fantastic. So we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching today's video. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, remember, the Force will be with you always.